Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look, of course, again at another Monotype team. And today we're going to take a look at the best team for the Dark typing. And we're going to start off with the best Pokemon of the Dark typing, which is Guzzlord. We're going to use the Drapion as our Say Stop in order to have something for Fairy types, and then Greninja in the back. Why Greninja and why is this not so ideal, and why I was thinking when I was playing this team, okay, it's mostly not going to go too well. I do think that Dark typing itself is very, very good in Go Battle League and just generally Pokemon Go PvP, because you have quite a lot of good bulky Pokemon with this type. It is quite a solid neutral type as well. Like, I do think it's a very, very good typing, generally speaking. But I do think it's quite difficult to play with itself, which seems so a bit funny, but there is not really a good type combination that really helps out the Dark type's weaknesses other than the Dark and Poison typing. But in the current meta, with Tinkaton being around, that doesn't really work that well either, because Tinkaton is good against both of them. So I had the option there to go for a Fire and Dark type or a Ground and Dark type Pokemon in order to deal with Tinkaton. What is the best Dark and Ground type Pokemon? Most likely Crocodile, which is just not good. What is the best Fire and Dark type Pokemon? It's Incineroar, which is also not very strong. And so I ended up with Greninja, which is here to just fire off attacks way faster than the rest of them. But it's not the ideal team that I would have wanted to run for a Monotype team, but there's nothing that really helps with everything. But this team still could be very interesting. We're going to still have here, we're going to have actually also the Dragon Claw on our lead instead of the Sludge Bomb. I do think that Sludge Bomb is just not really doing a lot in the current meta game, because the Pokemon that are Path Fairy, depending on which kind of meta you're running, either competitor or the Great League meta, is going to be like the fairies are going to be mainly Tinkaton as well as the Mimikyu. For Mimikyu, Brutal Swing is better, like generally all the time. And for Tinkaton, you have nothing to do with anyway. Like, no matter what you're going to happen there, like there's nothing you can help with. So it doesn't matter at all there. So I rather go for the Dragon Claw, which gives you a bit more immediate pressure compared to the coverage of Sludge Bomb that just doesn't really seem to be that great in the current meta. Here we're going to be able to go up against the opponent's Typhlosion. They are going to go for the Thunder Punch. We can get a ton of energy on Greninja. And this team itself was definitely, I can spoil it already, a little bit better than the Bug-type team from last time around. Bug-type team, I got in my 10 games I do for the series, I got 3 wins, I think. This one is going to top that. As we are currently 1-1, we're going to have here now the Empoleon coming in, and we can go for the Brutal Swing spam. This should do some solid damage against the opponent, and we can swap out into the Greninja, which can now go ahead and go for the Night Slash in time. The opponent runs a Waterfall on the Empoleon as well, which I didn't really expect here, but this is going to look quite okay for us. We can use a shield, and we can just go ahead and go for another Night Slash. We outspeed the opponent all the time, and this will easily knock them out. And so let's see what they're going to do. Night Slash is coming through. We're going to get the attack boost. It's not only a singular boost, it's not a double boost anymore. And the Drill Peck is coming in as well, as they swap out into that Tinkaton. I am boosted, and this is exactly why we have Greninja here, because you're going to be faster than the Tinkaton in order to get to moves. And so Tinkaton is going to go down from our Dark type here, and they're mostly going to be a bit annoyed in themselves after seeing what my team is going to be, that they didn't keep their Tinkaton healthy, because now I'm in a good position. The opponent is not going to be able to do that much here as well. We are going to see the Drill Peck coming in. I can go for another charge move, and with that, they're down to the last Pokemon. I'm not too sure if we saw the last Pokemon already. I think it was the Altaria. Yeah, the Altaria was here in the back. And we have the Dragon Claw exactly for this specific moment, as it's going to do a lot of damage against the opponent, putting them into the crunch range quite easily. We are going to have now our Drapion coming in. We can even go for the Awkward Tail here at this point, and then we're going to be able to take home another victory. And so we are in the position now where we won 2 games and only lost 1. So that is kind of nice. But let's see what the next opponent is going to bring. We're going to have a fantastic lead for ourselves, 9-tails. 9-tails is actually really good for the entire team. We have a bit of lag here, because you see it on the top left. We're going to have the new version. This is the Competitors Cup, and Competitors Cup is just not consistent. And yeah, sometimes I just go into the Competitor. No, that's actually not the Competitors Cup. This is the Great League Cup. Sorry, I find it kind of funny that they renamed the actual Great League and now has this cup here basically as an alternative, which is the Open Great League. But yeah, the new system basically is just very inconsistent, and we see it here as well. It's just like something that is just something it's not really done right yet. Like, it needs some more testing, it needs some more tweaking, but at least it still gives us for this season still the option to go for the Open Great League, and hopefully they fix it in the season basically still, in order to have this as their main system next season, because it's really not working. What also doesn't really work, which I didn't think about before I used the team, is Jumpluff is a really tough Pokemon for us to deal with. I should have maybe went for Incineroar now in the back instead, which would have helped me out with this Pokemon, but having Incineroar in a team and trying to say, okay, it's going to be the best Dark-type team, it's just tough for me to say. And so I went for a Pokemon that is actually more fan favorite. Of course, Incineroar is very commonly seen as well in VGC, but it's more of a Pokemon that you would see as well in the Go Battle League eventually than Incineroar, which is just there for trying to counter the weaknesses of the dark typing, basically. So yeah, I do think it still was the right decision. Here, in this case, we're actually going to lose against Ninetales, even though our team is amazing against Ninetales, just because the rest was just not really going well for us. And this again, the new system here, again, there was a bit of lag in the lead there. It's just annoying, because like there were a lot of people as well saying, okay, just clear your cache, clear the app data, go ahead and download everything. And I did all of that, nothing changed, everything is the same, it's still the same, yeah, nonsense where nothing really works. So hopefully they're gonna fix it in the future, but it's still, like, at the end of the day, this is going to be the system that we're going to run in the future, so I rather showcase some of the battles here as well, because it's going to be what we have to get used to if we want to play Go Battle League. I'm curious if there's going to be more to it after the World Championship, if we're going to see like a new game mode or something for PvP coming into the game, because I do feel like there needs to be a change. Seeing YouTube as well and seeing like the general responses from the community, I do feel like that the game is definitely, sadly currently, in a bit of a downwards trend towards PvP. Even though we have just a new system, which, I mean, people want to change the entire time. I don't think they wanted this type of change. So we see on how things gonna go. I'm open, I'm interested, but yeah, I think the World Championship is going to be one event that is going to be quite huge, where we have to really see on what they're going to announce there. Alcatel is coming through here against the Quagsire. We're going to be able to knock them out. In comes the Guzzlord against the opponent Celio. I was able to catch the move here, which was not what I wanted to really, but we see now in the back there's going to be a Jumpluff and we're going to lose this battle. So far, I think it's very even on if we win and if we lose, so like the team itself is going to be so far quite a hit and miss. Basically, you have both of it in here. You're going to have both the wins as well as a lot of losses. But it's a good showcase, I feel like. It's just a good showcase on like what types are really strong, what Pokemon are really strong. I like the series at least. If you enjoy the series as well, of course, feel free to leave a like on the video. Helps me out a ton. But yeah, we have the Dunsparce here. We kind of want to keep my Drapion alive because of what we saw in the lead. It's kind of the best answer for, I think, was Jumpluff in the lead. So I just gonna go for that. They are going to be forced to use another shield if they want to keep the Dunsparce, which they do. And I can try to catch the move. Didn't work out. They go into their own Jumpluff. It's a non-shielded Jumpluff, so I'm just gonna overfarm a lot and try to go up to 2 Dragon Claws if possible. But I'm not too sure if I can survive the hits. Acrobatics comes in. I am playing it risky, but I think I can go for a Dragon Claw and a Brutal Swing, which is going to be nice because I need to get some damage onto this Pokemon. And now they're at least going to be quite low. And they might still be able to reach another charge move in time here though. Let's see, yeah, they definitely will knock me out with an Acrobatics now. But if I can get the Night Slash off against them... Oh, they go for Energy Ball for some reason. They go into the Dunsparce for some reason. Okay, I think my best play is just to farm them down. I tried just to get an energy lead for whatever they have in the back, because they gotta go for the charge move here anyway. My only hope now is to go for the full farm against them. Rockstar is coming in, doing a little bit more damage than I guess the Drill Run does nowadays. Let's see. They're gonna go into the Jumpluff. I can knock this thing out. If they're weak to water or dark, I win this now, and they're forfeit. So that's a cool one. I would still like to see what they have in the back. Fighting type Pokemon, yeah, there's that issue. Yeah, we have Dark and Ghost types. I was thinking of bringing Saesop Sableye as well for this team, but I was like, okay, at least offensively, we're still going to be able to deal with most of the current fighting type Pokemon. They're not that common anyway. Maybe I should have tried to bring Sableye, maybe even Sableye instead of our Pokemon in the back, but then Sableye as well can't really hit Tinkaton at all. And so, like, it's a very, very tough one, because you just don't have that good fire dark type. I think if you had a good fire and dark type Pokemon, it would have been a bit of a different story. But then also, like, you need to kind of have something to deal with fire type Pokemon a bit more. You could have also used maybe instead of the Guzzlord and lead something Mandibuzz or something to give us a bit more help with the fighting type Pokemon. Like, this is a thing as well here. With the Monotype challenge, a lot of times you're gonna build teams that would usually not be that, like with Pokemon even, that usually wouldn't be that common and that good. You saw it in the Bug team as well. We had Golisopod there, we had Crustle, just in order to deal with the weaknesses of the type, in order to hopefully kinda somehow build a balanced team while running only Monotype Pokemon. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a fun series though. I feel like it's kind of challenging to team build, which is kind of cool, to try to find something that actually works out for you. And I'm curious which type is going to be the strongest out of them all. And there's going to be another video coming up eventually as well for the Dragon type. That's going to be the next one. I recorded the battles already, and I can tell you already, the Dragon type was a bit stronger than the Dark type. So yeah, I'm curious. I see on how things gonna go. For me, the tier list is gonna be at the end as well. I kind of want to say it as well. For like the first top tiers would be for me 8+ wins. At the end of the day, we are going to have here Monotype Pokemon, like all of them have the same typing. You're always going to have it a bit more tougher, so like I wouldn't say 10 out of 10 is like deep, like of course it's like necessary for the S tier. I think 8 out of 10 is kind of more reasonable, and I would just go for the A tiers like 7 and maybe 7 to 6, and then for the middle tiers like 5 to 4, and then like below we had like the second to last was the Bug typing already with 3, so 3 and 2, and then like everything below to 1 or 0 wins is of course then the F tier or like the E tier, I think, in my tier list later on. So yeah, this is kind of how I want to rank at least, and I do know on how many wins I had with this one, as far as at least I went through it once before just to see on how many wins I got. Here, by the way, Mimikyu in the back, actually not that bad, funnily enough. And yeah, we see on how this is going to rank here at the end. They're going to use a shield, which is smart, so they're not going to take that much damage. But here's the thing, we are very spammy with this team, which is really good for Mimikyu teams, because we can just shield up the player here, but we can just go for the Awkward Tail spam. And like, if they let this move go, they're going to be in the busted form. If they shield, they just use their final shield against a move that's just not that strong. I tried to catch the move here, didn't work out, but I can still actually reach another charge move here and get to the Brutal Swing, which is huge, because now the Disguise is gone, which means the Awkward Tail should be enough to knock them. And I just hope that the Awkward Tail comes through still in time. We do see Peter here, but I do think we still survive the hit, and we do. And so Drapion is going to be able to take home yet another victory, which is amazing, as we will see here the Mimikyu going down. Okay, Jumpluff against us again. Like, Jumpluff just came in way too many times. I didn't expect that Jumpluff would be that common. It makes sense, like, Jumpluff is a very good Pokemon right now, but I felt like I had it quite a lot of times here in those battles. But we see here the Stone Edge coming through from the opponent. That is okay. We can go for the Awkward Tail against them as well. This is going to hopefully get the shield. That's cool. And we can use another shield as well against the opponent, which is going to be fine here. We kind of want to try to get rid of the Quagsire a little bit, but keep the energy as well for the Jumpluff again. Jumpluff is this time around Shadow, which means we can only go for one charge move anyway. This is very likely going to put us into farm down range. The Acrobatics, exactly. So it's going to go for the Dragon Claw, which is going to be enough to get them low, not knock them out, but put them into crunch range, which is cool. But I have a bad feeling about this battle again. I'm going to go for the Awkward Tail, hoping that I can still reach another crunch in time, but I don't think I will, as the opponent has, of course, another charge move stored. Even Energy Ball is going to be enough to knock me out from this range. And now it's down to Greninja. I would be able to outspeed them, but they catch the move. And that's very smart, because if they didn't catch the move and I just went up to basically 3 more fouls moves after, I think I actually would have won this. So like, that was kind of an unfortunate game there. So I do think, like, yeah, like for those scenarios as well, I don't really want to put the tier list towards like, okay, yeah, it needs to be this certain type of wins. Like, this was something where I could have played maybe a bit better and I would have won the battle. But at the end of the day, it didn't work out, and that was not directly only down to the team. And here we have the Sandslash against us. That's going to be alright. The Crunch is coming through, it's going to get the shield from the opponent, and we can go for another Awkward Tail, I want to say, but the opponent's going to have to, yeah, go for a charge move first. Ice Punch coming through. The team itself is not that weak to Sandslash. We have still have Greninja in the back, which can deal with it, and I would like to get the shields down here, and I want to see if I can get the farm done with my Greninja. But of course I will still get to another charge move in time. But Drill Run is doing a little bit less damage this season, so maybe Mantine comes in. This is already looking quite bad. I don't think there is a way of me winning this, because Mantine is just going to have double Twister and knock out my Guzzlord. And with a double Twister, like, I have nothing that I can really do. Like, there's not a lot that I can really do. The Twister's coming through here, and yeah, like, this is going to be a bit tough. The Twister is going to knock us out here. And Greninja has a lot of energy, but it's just going to be a bit of an uphill battle against 3 Pokemon now. The Night Sledge is going to get them low. We kind of have to get some energy, I thought. They're still gonna get to the move, so we're sadly going to lose a final battle as well, because it's barely gonna, we're barely gonna hang on. Yeah, we can go still for the Night Slash. I want to see what the final Pokemon would have been, but this is going to be it for this video. So I think, as far as I count correctly, I won 4 and lost 6 with this team. So the Dark typing is going to be by 1 win better than the Bug type. I thought already before it wouldn't be the strongest, but yeah, it was maybe even a little bit lower than I expected, but still for me, that's for me a B tier for Monotype challenge. As C is going to be 3 and 2, B is more like 4, 5, and then A is 6 and 7, and then you have S with 8+ wins, which I think makes the most amount of sense. This is going to be it. See you then. Bye bye.